Hello everyone and welcome to another video by Centipede Geek. I just wanted to make a video today to let you guys know that I'm doing a new video series on my channel. My channel is titled Centipede Geek, and I'm making a new video series, and pretty much what this new video is going to consist of is, if you guys don't know, I love to read books. Reading is one of my many hobbies, and I just love to do it. It's a great way to pass the time, and it's also I just love doing it. Not only does it pass the time, but I feel like it just has so many benefits. It's just so fun. I don't know what it is about reading, but it's just so fun. Well, anyways, like I said, I read a lot of books. I read from authors like Clive Barker, Stephen King, first of all, and of course I read from him. I used to read a lot of stuff, back in my elementary school days. I used to read stuff like Lemony Snicket to Nancy Drew, the Hardy Boys, and stuff like that when I was younger. Well, I decided it might be kind of a cool idea to, every time I start a new book, I would make a YouTube video about it and let people know my thoughts on if I like the book, if I don't like the book, my thoughts and theories on where it might go, and just the overall plot of the book. And every time I read another few pages, anytime I read another chapter in the book, I would go ahead and make another video letting you guys know my thoughts on the story. I thought it was an interesting idea. Maybe you guys can let me know in the comment board and let me know what you guys think about the video. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and start this first video, and that is for the book Red Rain. You guys might find this author familiar. R.L. Stine is his name, and he's famous for doing stuff such as Goosebumps, the famous Goosebumps children's horror book series, and he also did the spin-off of Goosebumps titled Fear Street. Red Rain is actually not a kid's novel at all. It is actually R.L. Stine's take on a horror suspense novel, and it is a very, very adult book. So first he started off scaring kids. Well, it looks like just recently he wants to try and scare adults. Let me just say that I have read 20 pages of this so far, and he does a dang good job of scaring adults. I'm 21 years old, and I was getting pretty scared, honestly. So let's go ahead and I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about what this book's about. So Red Rain consists of a girl by the name of Leah Sutton, and just so you guys know, this is not a spoiler. It happens within the first, 2 pages of the book Red Rain by R.L. Stine. A big hurricane called Hurricane Ernesto comes, and it sweeps over a town in South Carolina. The book takes place on this little island off the coast of the beach of South Carolina. And hurricane comes, kills the entire town, bodies are left there, starfishes are laying on the beach dead, dogs are feasting on the dead bodies at the South Carolina town, and Leah seems to be one of the only ones alive, and she is in a dazed state. She doesn't even realize what's happening, and she's walking along the beach, and she comes across these 2 little boys. These 2 little boys, I believe, are shirtless. Both have blonde hair, blue eyes, white cargo shorts, and sandals on their feet, I believe. They might be barefoot, but I'm pretty sure they're wearing sandals. And they both look about the same age, and they kind of just have this, help me, creepy kind of look to them. And of course, like I said, there's no one else around. They're the only ones on this beach. And she decides to ask the words, "Can I help you?" And that's pretty much, like I said, the book starts with a prologue. The first 4 or 5 pages is a prologue. That's the gist. What I'm guessing is, these 2 boys, I don't exactly know what happens because I've only read 20 pages, but these 2 boys apparently are going to get her life into a lot of trouble and make her life a lot more dreadful than it is. I'm pretty sure the boys aren't good news for her at all. So anyways, then the book, all of a sudden, I'm 5 chapters in now. I'm on chapter 5, page 21, like I said. And the book takes place 2 days beforehand. And these first 4 chapters tell you about what happened, the events that led up to Hurricane Ernesto 2 days before the town was destroyed. And right now I'm currently at a part where she's the way you're reading this is she has an iPad. It's kind of cool. They use a lot of modern technology, a lot of internet websites that we know. R.L. Stine makes the book very modern, and I love that about it. I mean, I would expect him to, but it's cool the stuff he references. Anyway, she's writing this book on, she's not this book, but she's a blogger that gets paid to go on all these exotic and adventures, and she's off on this island getting ready to go to a ritual. And at this ritual, pretty much what happens is there's all these men and women and a bald priest, I believe, with like a yellow sash around his robe. I think it's like a black or purple robe. Anyways, yellow sash, and he walks up and he brings a coconut, and there's this black liquid inside, and I don't know what the liquid is, but all the men drink the black liquid, and then on page 20, just got done reading, they all kneel on their knees, and they're all kneeling, and all of a sudden they all vomit at the exact same time in a very disgusting and gross manner. And to me, that was just, I was like, man, to me, I was wondering, what's in that black liquid. There was also a scene beforehand that happened. It told you about this. There's some stories that go on about this island. No one wants to go on this island. Everyone stays away. And the reason for that is there's a lot of weird stories that go on. And the main story for the reason that everyone stays away from this island is the fact that the legend is that a hurricane back in the year 1935, a big hurricane came. They didn't name them back then, so it didn't have a name. So anyways, big hurricane came, wiped out the entire town. Well, everyone that died, their corpses, the yellowish skeletons, nasty, no flesh, just the bone, the skeletons then were dead, and they rose up, kind of like zombies. The living dead rose up, and they rebuilt this South Carolina town. And that's the old story that kind of revolves around this book and revolves around the first 20 pages, and that's the reason why people stay away from this town. And like I said, that's pretty much where I'm at. Every day she's staying in a local motel, I believe, and she's writing blogs that she gets paid to write, adventure blogs, on a site called traveladventures.com, and she's writing these blogs daily on her iPad. And right now she's on this island off the coast of the South Carolina beach, and she's watching some ritual take place, and these guys are vomiting at the ritual. That's pretty much where I'm at in the book by R.L. Stine titled Red Rain. Now, I have to say, this is an amazing book so far. I can't wait to read more. Let me just tell you why. I have read a lot of books. I've read some Stephen King stuff. I've read Carrie. I've read Cujo. I've read Eyes of the Dragon. I've read Clive Barker's Abarat and his Damnation Game also. I love Damnation Game. That's a great book. One of my favorites from Clive Barker. And I have to say, those books were all great. They were amazing. But they didn't really creep me out. They had a great atmosphere to them, and they're great books. They're flawless. I love them. But the thing I noticed with this one is, literally, I won't say what because I don't want to ruin it if you guys haven't read it. But it has to do with the title of the book. And I was 3 pages into the book, and I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty creeped out. I was very scared. And that's hard to do with a book because I feel like with movies, it's a little easier because you have a visual perception of what's going on in front of you. You have this visual picture in front of you. Well, with a book, you have to picture the words in front of you. So what you picture, whenever you're reading it, and what you picture could be different than what someone else reading the book, Red Rain, might picture. So I'm reading this, and I'm picturing these events in my head, and I'm like, this is disturbingly real and disturbingly, a very creepy atmosphere. For the first time in a reading, Red Rain really did scare me, I have to say and be honest. This book is amazing so far, and that is probably the most reason and the best reason why. Another great thing is, I think the references are really cool. He mentions, like I said, he mentions an iPad. Leia Sutton writes on her iPad. She, types on her iPad. That's how she's writing the blogs on traveladventure.com. She meets someone on the island that she knows that told her about the ritual, and she's like, "How did you recognize me?" And she's like, "Oh, I recognized you by your profile picture on Facebook." So he mentions like Facebook. So far, I'm sure he'll mention other stuff too, but so far he mentions Facebook and an iPad. I thought those were some cool references to make the story very authentic and very real to the extreme. So I really like that about it also. Let me think of some other things. This is just so you guys know, this is a new book. This just came out October of 2012 this year. So it's a very recent book. It's not old by any means. I love the way things are worded in this book. It's just so, so descriptive, crisp, and well written. Just written in a great way. It almost has, some parts of it have like a dark humor, wicked humor. There's one thing where she sees something and she thinks it's both fascinating and horrifying. So it's kind of a quirky thing there, and I love that about it. Let me see here if there's anything else that I need to say. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and read you, if you're curious, want to watch the rest of the video, I'm going to go ahead and read you the first, just to kind of give you a taste of what this book is. I'm going to read you the first page, just this front little page, starting with the prologue, just to give you guys a taste of what Red Rain is. And here I go. Prologue. By morning, the hurricane had passed, but not before destroying every home, every building, every life on the island. Leia lowered her hand from her eyes and waited for them to adjust to the yellow-gray glare. The light reminded her of a sick room, a hospital room, that chilling light that carries no warmth at all. No clouds in the sky, but the sun was hidden, lost behind the swirling dust and mist and chunks of dirt that clogged the air. The light feels dirty. Now, 2 dogs began to wail, not in pain, howling a mournful song, sharing the horror of what they saw. Leia took one step, and then another, concentrating on keeping her balance. Stay on solid ground. Don't stumble and fall off the edge of the earth into the ragged piles of death. Keep moving and you won't be buried here. Leia's thoughts were a jumble. No way to straighten them out, not with the dogs howling and the children crying, and the corpses all witnesses, all of them, lying so still and watching the living in silent accusation. Her sandal sank into a deep puddle of cold water. She kept walking. Ahead of her, she could hear the rush and roar of the waves. She was walking to the beach, without realizing it. And that was pretty much the first page of the book Red Rain by R.L. Stine, the author. That kind of just gives you a taste of his writing style. That only gives you one page, but it gives you a sense of his writing style, the way he writes, the way he words things, the way he explains the overall details of the book itself, and just that kind of thing. So let me take one last quick glance here and see if I should mention anything else. Like I said, I think so far this is a great read. Like I said, I blindly picked this up at my college's library, the college library I go to, and it was very blind. The main thing was I saw R.L. Stine, and I was like, I'm gonna pick that up because I used to read the Goosebumps books back when I was a child, and I loved them. But as you can see, this book has lots of praise on the front here, lots of praise on the back, and they say here's one of the quotes they say. This is the moment I've been terrified of. When R.L. Stine decided he wasn't just going to scare children, but that he would focus his power on frightening the rest of us. Ready to be haunted by the master? Red Rain proves he's got nightmares for us all. And that was a guy by the name of Brad Meltzer. Like I said, they just give him so much praise because I think this book deserves it. It's not too long of a book either. I believe it's about 369 pages in this book, so it's not too long. It's a pretty, just kind of a regular and average book length. Stephen King stuff can range from being anywhere to 200 pages all the way to like 1,200 pages. And then stuff like Dreamcatcher is like 600 or 700. So anyways, I know this video is kind of long, but like I said, I just wanted to make a quick little video showing you guys the new book I'm reading. And like I said, every time I read another 20 or 40 pages or 100 pages or 5 pages, every time I read a little more, I'll let you guys kind of know what's going on in the book Red Rain and my thoughts on the book and whether or not I'm liking it and if I'm not liking it. Though I'm 21 pages in and I'm loving it. My theories on it is that the 2 kids, I think it's going to take the book a little while to get back to that back to the present time, because right now it's in the past. And pretty much those 2 kids I know are not good news at all. You can just tell by the way the atmosphere was. and just it was obvious. I knew from the start. And I'm also very curious to know what the story behind the ritual is. I'm wanting to know the ritual. I'm wanting to know why are they vomiting. That's very interesting, and it makes me very curious. It's a very intriguing concept. The last reason I'll say I love this book so far is because the whole concept of the people from the hurricane dying, and then the living dead coming back to life and rebuilding the town. That was a really cool thing. That was an amazing thing that I thought the author, if he thought that up, that's amazing that he thought that up. It's crazy that, hurricane coming, destroying these people, and all of a sudden they're coming back to life, and, you don't know if it's true or not, but it's a good background for the story. Very cool stuff. Anyways, I just want to make this quick little video. Don't want to take any more of you guys' time up. And that's my start of R.L. Stine's titled Red Rain. Once again, thank you to all my subscribers for watching. Like, comment, subscribe to my page below. And I will see you guys in the next few days when I start reading more of the book Red Rain. Anyway, see you guys later. Bye.